All right, guys, welcome to You're Becoming a Better You. No. I've never messed up. This is the first time I messed this up. Okay.
It's not okay.
That's worse. All right, guys, welcome to You're Becoming a Better You.
Too much. Too much.
That's
Heat.
Yeah.
Too much heat in here.
So only some of us look at him and the others avert their eyes.
That means I'm like semi-creepy and like not creepy. It's like some. Okay. All right, guys, welcome to Becoming a Better. I got this.
You got it. Come on.
Shouldn't I pull cards?
No, I got it. I got this.
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right, guys, and welcome to a. Nope, don't got it. I got this. All right, here we go. Ready? Keep telling me I got this.
You got this. You can do it.
All right, guys, welcome to Becoming a Better You podcast. So today we have a special treat. This is the first time we've done a group kind of podcast. These are some of the girls in our jiu-jitsu program. So we wanted to talk about, how it benefited them, the experiences they had, and how it can also benefit you. So we have Heather over here, we have Sarah, we have Tara, and we have Amanda.
Everyone.
Hi.
You gotta pinch me so it's like I'm not dreaming right now. You're all real around me.
We're real.
Yes, you are. All right, so who wants to start? So what prompted you to join a jiu-jitsu and self-defense studio? And the reason I ask that is that as far as the martial arts goes, it's mostly male-dominated, right? There's not a lot of women compared to men that do martial arts. So what prompted you to start jiu-jitsu?
When I first started Buckness, in general, I was doing the fitness kickboxing, but I was always seeing the adults doing jujitsu. So I was like, I think that's better suited for me.
And you're an athlete, right?
Right, yeah. I played a lot of sports growing up and into adulthood. But I've always had an interest in martial arts. I just felt like because it's male dominated, because I was older, like maybe it wasn't for me. But then seeing everyone here and how welcoming everyone is and how everyone was going at their own pace, I decided to give it a shot and fell in love instantly.
And how old were you when you started?
39.
Do you think that's too old now, knowing what you know?
No, not at all.
Right, because you can always make improvements as you go,
Mm-hmm.
right? Anybody else?
I was always interested in just knowing how to self-defend if ever needed. So I just kind of looked into your website and your Facebook and that were really interesting, and you had very nice videos
Me or the videos?
just in general.
Go ahead.
So that's what prompted me to contact Bethany, and she was so welcoming. And at first I just signed up for the 6-week course, and I was like, I want to keep going. I don't want to stop there. And then I ultimately want to go for my black belt. So I gained confidence from coming here. So it was really cool.
Definitely.
It gets addicting.
Yeah.
Right. I think a lot of it, so I've been doing it since I've been young, a little older now. But it's one of those activities that you have friends and teammates, but you're on your own, really. Like you guys are just grappling. They want me to tell you that they were just grappling. This is why we're all sweaty. But whether you win or lose, that's on you, right? And you can't always win, and it teaches you that discipline and that pushing forward when it gets tough, because life is tough, right? And that definitely benefited me. But for you, what are some fears that you had coming into a jiu-jitsu studio? Because you didn't start in the kickboxing, you came right into jiu-jitsu.
No, I did start in kickboxing.
You did start, that's right, you did.
Yeah,
so
I started in kickboxing just because I was struggling with personal issues, and I felt like I needed to get out of the house and do some more exercise. But I always saw Tara the jiu-jitsu class, and I felt like I would be in more of a community there and be able to interact and build relationships with people. And I was terrified every single day, but now I have all these great friends.
were you terrified? And the reason I said that, because you were only kickboxing for 4 weeks, I think.
Yeah, a month.
Yeah, it was you started kickboxing and you immediately went into jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
What were some of those fears you were terrified of? What were you thinking?
I wasn't gonna be good at it. I'm not a super sporty person, and everyone else was so much higher than me at that point. So I was like, oh gosh, I don't know what I'm doing. And I think I apologized all the time, and I still kind of do when I mess up, and everyone's like, don't apologize, it's okay. we've all been there. So it's really supportive, and like you said, it's addicting. It's addicting to come to class. It's just like such a great energy.
Now let's talk about you, right? Because I actually forgot. You and Bethany went back and forth in an email chain.
Yeah, I was
Right.
absolutely terrified of martial arts. Like, I've never been coordinated. I've always been strong and weak and kind of, you know, put all those limits on myself. Like, I can't do this, I can't do that. And I don't know, my husband had been pushing for me to get into martial arts, and I was like, no, why would I want to do that? Like, why would I want to be in physical pain or put other people in physical pain? That sounds awful. But then it just looked like so much fun, and then Tara started doing it, and I remember, you know,
You were like the trailblazer. You were the trailblazer.
yeah, it took me 3 years to finally build up the courage to email Sensei Bethany, but I did. And yeah, I was just scared that I'd be awful at it, you know, just being small and, you know, weak and not coordinated, but it's fun. It's really, really fun. And, you know, all of the things I was afraid of, it's not scary. Like, they break everything down for you and like to these small little chunks, so it's just like you're doing all these things that you never thought that you could do. Like, I never thought I'd be able to like throw someone or this or that. And, you know, it starts off small, then all of a sudden you're doing these incredible things. And
Have you thrown all of them?
I think so.
Yeah.
We gotta get that. We
Yeah.
gotta get
I
that.
think so.
Were you nervous about anything coming in? Or the videos, they would look so good that
I thought I was gonna be a champ right off the bat, you know. I mean, yeah, of course I was nervous. I was like, I might not be any good at this at all, and they're gonna laugh at me a lot. That's for sure. But they don't. We laugh along together.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
I mean, and I think it's like I have no problem making a fool of myself,
Yeah.
right? So like, and some of that's by design. Some of that is I just think it's funny. But like, if the person who's running it, and I'm not running a jiu-jitsu program as much as Bethany and Nick, but like, that guy looks like a fool, right? He's doing all this stuff. So when you guys come in, he looks like an idiot doing stuff on YouTube or whatever. So you don't have that pressure. It's like I saw Mark in a gold suit jumping around, playing a tambourine.
Yep.
You know, like, oh, I can do jiu-jitsu. You know what I'm saying? So it's by design, and it's not on accident that that's the way it's designed. Because I've been doing it so long, and because most of the martial arts are male dominated, I always knew that I wanted more of the family environment and the women. And to have that kind of environment, you have to have a different style of teaching, right? We talked about it with your husband.
Yeah.
There's like, and you guys might not know this, but there's like hard styles of karate, martial arts, that, you don't talk to the instructor unless they talk to you.
You can't giggle, you'll get in trouble. Like,
Yeah,
push-ups,
you'd be done.
anything.
You'd be
Yeah,
done.
You'd be kicked out of
You'd be-
class
you'd
right
be
away,
gone.
or beat with a stick.
Yeah. And so I know for me, so like at this point I was already a physical therapist. I was pretty in shape. I was doing jiu-jitsu, and I was like, I want to do yoga, right? And it took me like 1.5 years to do yoga for the same reasons that you guys said it took you to do like martial arts. And I'm like, I can do this, but it still took me like 1.5 years to finally be like, you know. So what was the decision point where, because we have all these fears, right? So I'm assuming that it wasn't like, I want to do self-defense, and then you immediately called. It probably took some time, right? Do you remember how long it took, and then what was the decision point where you're like, I'm going to go forward? Because I know a lot of people who are watching this want to do self-defense, right? They want to do kickboxing, whatever, but they're scared, so they don't do it. Do you guys remember what that decision point was? Like,
Just giving myself the chance to try it at least, and not be scared to fail. That's when it was like, I'm gonna at least take a class and see how it goes.
and it was easier because you came in from the kickboxing.
Right, so I
So
was
you already knew
seeing-
everybody.
Right. And I knew that it was a welcoming environment, and even though I didn't know anything about jiu-jitsu,
Yep.
it was totally okay.
Mhm.
So that's when I was like, I'm gonna do this.
And what
I'll
about,
stick to it.
and you're doing a great job. And so for some people who didn't, that would just be you actually, who didn't start in the kickboxing, because all three of you did. What was that decision point?
I was just like, Heather, you're doing this. Like, you need to send this email because like you just need to get out. This was like 2020, not 2021. So it was like everyone was still kind of staying inside, and I was like, I need to get out and to meet people and like.
Were you just watching
better
people out your
myself.
window? Just walk
That's
by.
all.
Yeah.
So I just hit the email and was like, I'm doing this, I don't care. And then Beth was so welcoming. She's like, just try it first class, see how you like it. And then So I went to the first class, and then she's like, we can do 6 weeks, and then I did that, and then I stayed ultimately. So.
And how long did it take you from thinking about it to actually sending the email?
Like within a week.
Oh, that's
I
quick.
gave myself, like, I was like, if you overthink this, you're not going to do it. So, yeah.
Because I think there comes a point with anything, fitness, self-defense, like if you're ready, you're ready, right? So like when I talk to women, like I can't want, or men, I can't want this more than you want this for yourself,
Right.
right? I can't teach desire. I can teach you whatever you need to know about the things I do. But if you don't want it, you're going to see, like, you're not going to go 20 minutes of grappling with someone laying on top of you if you don't want to get better and if you don't love it.
Exactly.
You're going to be like, I'm done.
Right.
You know. And then let's talk about how jiu-jitsu has helped you either emotionally or mentally, right? So for me, it definitely, I mean, it's been through so many things with me. I've been doing it my whole life, but it keeps me stable, right? It also gives me the confidence to do things that maybe I wouldn't do if I didn't have the discipline of being a martial artist and losing in so many ways in the martial arts, but overcoming it. So who wants to share either emotionally or mentally how that helped you? Not all at once.
I know for me, I feel a lot more confident. Like I'm doing all these things that, you know, physically that I never thought I could do. And so it's making me question other limits I'm setting on myself or things that normally terrify me. Like, I don't know, now I know how to defend myself from a rear naked choke. So sending someone an email or calling someone back, like, doesn't seem that scary. Like, okay, I can definitely send an email. And
Do you feel empowered?
I do, like, so very empowered, and I'm standing up for myself a lot more. Like at work, there are a couple things like this isn't right. Like I'm, you know, gonna speak up and, you know, growing a backbone and standing up for myself, and it's working, and people are listening, and it feels good. You know, it kind of spreads to different aspects of your life.
It really does. Yeah. On the opposite of that, like I don't have a problem speaking up, but sometimes I get too fired up.
It's because she's Italian. She's Italian.
100%. But this helps me to stay mindful and to stay in the moment and to be okay with being comfortable, being uncomfortable, which helps me to stay calm, especially like in situations that are not in the dojo at all, just in everyday life.
Yeah, I think one of the lessons, you know, is we talk about that, like, no physical altercation is going to benefit anybody, right? So you'd always rather walk away. So if you are fired up, that's just going to cause the other person to get fired up, and now we're fighting.
Yeah.
Versus just being like, I'm good, you know.
Right, or even in work situations where like everything seems like it's coming down on you, just to be able to be like, okay, I'm in this moment and I can only do what I can do right now. And I learned a lot of that from jiu-jitsu and it being transferable. Like, if somebody's choking me, I can't worry about what the next three steps from now is going to be because I need to not get choked out. So it helps me to transfer that into real life.
Yeah, that's excellent.
That's one of my biggest
Takeaways.
things that I love about jiu-jitsu.
So out of the four women, you're the newest, right? You've been doing how, a couple months?
I think it was like March when I switched
Okay.
over.
So what have you learned from it?
I don't know. I mean, I've learned how to be more confident. When I first contacted you about kickboxing, I was in a really bad place.
We did a video chat.
We did, and I was having a really hard time, just in general. I was in a bad spot, and I was like, I'm going to do kickboxing because I need to get some of those natural endorphins, that natural serotonin. And it was great, but the jiu-jitsu was a lot better because I was like making those connections. I feel like it's helping me just be more social and outgoing because I really needed that. I was just stuck inside myself for a really long time. So I've just learned to be more confident in how to approach people and, you know, be more confident in my own thoughts. Yeah, it's really helped me out a lot. I'm in a much better place than I ever have been.
And so, like, I'm not doing the day-to-day teaching, but I can see it in you when you walk in, right? From when you first started to now,
Yeah.
and then you grapple. Like, I don't think people expect you to grapple like you grapple. Like, you're like, I was like, yeah, she's feisty. She's very feisty. And what about you, Heather?
So kind of both. It's definitely helped me confidence wise and also emotionally. So I'm just very grateful to be like having this empowerment as a woman, and like I feel comfortable doing things on my own and not having to worry. And like if something were to go down, I feel as though I could defend myself if necessary, or somebody else if needed. So it's really helped a lot.
As a woman, how important is it that you have some knowledge of self-defense and be confident in that?
Way
It's
important.
important,
Yeah,
like
extremely
way more
important.
important than it should be, probably.
Right.
It's dangerous out there.
Especially now, I think,
Yeah.
current society,
Yeah.
even whether woman or not, I think it dictates that you need to know how to defend yourself, or, but especially being aware of your surroundings.
And because obviously I'm not a woman, 100% male. I think that, like, I don't think like you guys, especially because I have muscles. I've been doing this since I've been 8. I don't walk around and think about somebody attacking me. Now, if someone gets in my space, yeah, I'm already ready. But like, I don't go around in my flip flops and think someone's going to attack me, right? When I go out with my tight jeans, though, I know I can't kick because they're too tight.
Yeah, so you already know.
Yeah,
your
I know.
weaknesses.
I know my weaknesses. Yeah, know thyself.
point.
I'm all up about it. I just gave away my secrets. But how does that play out, right? Because before you came in here, you probably, I don't think about somebody attacking me when I walk to my car necessarily.
Mhm.
Walk me through that. Like, how has that changed for you?
I think I was traveling alone a lot for work, so I was going to like Chicago, California, and not necessarily the best areas. Walking through parking garages by myself. I think my first like trial class with Sensei Bethany, I was kind of telling her a little bit about that. And it's scary to have to go through a parking garage by yourself. You take like an 11 o'clock flight, you get in at midnight, and a parking garage is just like pitch black. It's terrifying. You're holding your keys in between your fingers, like, oh gosh, like, is anything gonna happen? But now I feel like, we practice so many different positions and maneuvers that, if someone comes at me from the front or the back or the side, I have a good grasp on what I can do to get myself out of that situation. Whereas before I had no idea besides like keep them.
Which is still a big
Yeah,
technique,
yeah.
right? And I think just having some knowledge of what to do allows you to not freeze, right? So when you have your emergency response technique, you're like, I just need to hit the person, right? Because if someone attacks you, it's too late to talk them out of it.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be like, Tara, please stop hitting me in the face,
Right.
right? So before not knowing that, you just, you could freeze anyway, but at least you have, okay, I need to do something, you were gonna say something.
Yeah, when I was in Italy recently, there ended up being kind of like this huge fight behind us on one of the Vaporetto water taxi things. And normally I would, freak out and like hid behind that, but like I didn't freak out. I was calm and I just sort of like was aware of what was going on, and I felt like if I had to, I could keep myself safe, and that's such a great comfort to feel like I don't necessarily need to hide behind a man. Like I could, probably fend for myself. And it
And
was
just
really good.
push them
Yeah.
in the water.
Yes.
Yeah.
Splash.
So now, besides meeting me, like, what has been the most beneficial thing about joining Bochner's? Right, everyone's going to answer this. We're going to start with you because you have the doctorate. Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's hard because there's.
I said besides meeting me, you can.
There's so many good things. I mean, some of it is just the connections that you have. It's really fun coming here. Like, it's kind of a fun hobby that's like really good for you, and it, helps you physically feel stronger, mentally feel stronger, emotionally feel stronger. Like there's just so many different benefits. But I think my favorite is just meeting all of you guys. And
Yeah.
the senseis,
The
and like I love this
camaraderie.
whole community here. It's fun. It's really fun.
Definitely. Piggybacking off of that. Even though martial arts and jiu-jitsu are individual sports, there's very much a team environment here. And I think that that's one of the special things about this dojo is even sometimes if you feel like you're having an off day with your techniques or your grappling
Or work.
you can come here and you'll get lifted up. Even if you're strikes might be off, no one's gonna be mad at you. It's just gonna be a totally encouraging environment, and that has changed the way that I look at physical fitness.
Because it has to be, so in order for something to work, it has to be consistent. In order for it to be consistent, it has to be fun, and it has to work, right? It has to work for you.
Right.
So, especially coming from a team sport background,
Right.
even though it's individual, your people you're training with are your team. Because we say like, hey, so I got to get Sarah ready to train with you guys, because if she gets attacked, you guys aren't going to be there. Unless you guys are all together, then that's cool. But like, she, for the most part, it's her. But
Right.
the work she put in at the studio, how well she did that will translate to how well she does it on her own, right? Also, what about you?
I would say, like Amanda, the sense of community here, it's really encouraging. I was really scared to start. I was really self-conscious, but also I've just never had a hobby before, and I didn't know what it was like to have a hobby or like an interest or to be part of like a team sport, even though, jiu-jitsu isn't necessarily a team sport. I feel like we're a team, and it's just really nice to be part of something, because I've never had that before.
Ever?
I've never been part of any team kind of.
So,
Experience.
not ever having that,
Yeah.
how's it feel?
It feels great. I love it. I mean, I'm so excited to come to class. It's like the best part of my day. Like, I look forward to it all day. If I could go to more classes, I would. I just love it. It really is like the highlight of my week every single week. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
And Miss Heather?
You guys kind of took all the best answers, but I was also gonna say like the environment. Everyone's very welcoming. I've made great friends here, and it's fun to come to class. Like when you have a tough day at work, family, whatever
Drapes.
is going on, drapery,
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
tough things. You can just like let it out with laughter and getting it out physically, and like it's really great to have that as another way to just let out frustration or and I think that's
Yeah, I think, and one of the reasons, obviously, I like joking around, but life is hard enough, right? Going through your daily routines. So when you come here, it's like, okay, we're gonna have a good time. We'll bust on each other. I think I was saying to you guys, like I used to be a respected sensei, and they busted me up, right? Because like in the back of the day, right? But that's fine, because I'd rather have that camaraderie, like, than people just being like, right? Because that doesn't work for me anyway. So that's why I don't teach like that. But to have that atmosphere where it's respectful, but you can have fun joking around.
Right.
You're technically in a safe zone, and there's a time for being serious, but there's a time for like, listen, like this part, because this is what it did for me. Being in the martial arts affected me in all different areas of my life. It gave me a huge advantage over other people who didn't do it, because I learned the discipline at such a young age that it just filtered into everything else, right? But I also knew that there was parts of the martial arts I didn't like. I didn't like the sparring as a kid, right? I didn't like that fighting aspect. And so when we do it, even with the kids now, they do it against the instructors, so they're more comfortable. And then as they get older, you can go a little more. That's why when we do like our sparring for you guys, like it's not all out, right? Because someone's getting a broken nose, like it's like great, it's controlled, but you're learning the stuff you have to learn. It's consistent, but you can still go to work the next day, right? So it's that kind of thing. Do you think it's beneficial for every woman to learn self-defense?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
And then what would be the most important thing they could learn?
To be aware of your surroundings and to strike quickly. If
Yeah.
somebody
Yes.
approaches you and you feel uncomfortable, instead of like waiting for them to do something, just strike first.
Right. Because we talk about if you're a woman and you feel threatened that somebody is going to attack you, you're much better off striking them and running away, because you know that you can control the situation. You strike them, you run away. You don't know what their intent is, whether it's to steal your purse, whether it's to kill you, to rape you, to kidnap you. You don't know what their intent is. You know what yours is. So you want to make sure that if you feel, because your intuition is going to tell you, take control and just get away,
Yeah.
right? No judge is going to be like, Tara, you shouldn't have open palmed that man in the face who was going to stab you.
Right.
Right, I think you should have tried to stab you, block this
Then
knife,
you're stuck.
and right, like no one's gonna say that to you.
Right.
And so I think that's what real self-defense is. It's okay, being aware, taking yourself out of the situation. But if you're physically forced to defend yourself, it doesn't mean after they punch you in the face,
Right.
right? It means I'm scared. I'm legit scared. I legit think this person's gonna hit me. So I poke them in the eyes and then run away, right? Or do whatever you have to do.
And I don't think there's a downside to learning self-defense.
Absolutely.
You know, you not only do you become empowered and all the great things that we just talked about, but you learn how to kick butt.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you know, you can become part of a nice community.
And the physical aspect.
Right.
Right, the
And,
stress
you know,
relief.
You could get in shape.
So if like
and
drapes fall down,
you could
jump
right
you
up.
could jump right up and get it.
Get them
That's
up
right.
there. A lot of shoulder strength.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, she's a drape specialist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She's an interior decorator.
She specializes in plaid designs.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally 70s.
Buffalo plaid.
I don't even know what that is. All right, so we're gonna go around for the last question, and this is from you to any woman watching this. What would you tell a woman who wants to learn self-defense? They're watching this. They like everything that you're saying, but they're like, I'm scared. We're gonna start with you this time. So you can talk to them because you don't need to talk to me.
I'd say just do it. There's no harm in trying, coming to a class and seeing how you feel. I feel you're going to be welcomed with open arms, so go for it.
And it doesn't have to be just my studio, like any studio, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, just do it. Just like Heather said, I mean, nothing bad is going to happen to you when you come to class. Everyone's going to be really supportive. You know, like Tara said, if you're having a bad day or you're feeling off, like whatever it is, like we're always going to lift you up. Everyone here has always lifted me up since day one. And it's just, again, just a great sense of community. Like you said, whether you're here or at other dojos, I mean, it's just a community. Yeah.
And one of the things with that too is that, especially peers of mine who like teach martial arts and self-defense, a lot of times they're just teaching it because they love teaching it. They're actually not making money teaching it,
Right.
right? So with that being said, that means they're teaching it because they love doing it. So you're going to get a different level of teaching than someone who's, now of course there's in any business, especially drapery, there's people who just do it for the money, right? But like a lot of martial arts schools are just teaching that because they train for 20 years and they want to teach, right? So if you have that level of passion where they're just coming for free to teach,
Right.
you know they're gonna,
It's pretty special.
yeah. Okay, what do you want to tell them? They're nervous.
I just don't be nervous. Like I already said, you really have nothing to lose. It's one of the few things in life where there are really no cons to come in and try in a new class, and I think everyone should try it at least once and empower yourself.
And take us home.
And I mean, it's for anybody. You don't need to be coordinated. You don't need to be strong. You don't need to be in shape. Like as you are right now, you can come and, you know, learn how to take care of yourself. It gives you such peace of mind. It's such a great stress relief. You know, after the worst day, like you go home feeling awesome, and I think it'll be the best thing that you ever do.
And with that, I want to thank all of you guys. This is the first group podcast that we had. So I appreciate everything you guys said. I think it's very important for other women to hear the benefits of having a martial arts school. Now, and here's the other thing too. You don't necessarily have to train for 10 years, right? You could take 6 weeks, 7 week, 8 course just to learn some basic moves, right? But just doing that could save your life.
Right.
You know? So with that, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Hey guys, Dr. Mark here. Now I know a lot of you want to know how we get all these amazing results with our clients, and it comes down to 3 things. The first is fun fitness classes that burn a lot of calories. 2 is giving you an accountability coach to make sure you stay on track and get the best results. And 3 is the nutrition. Included in the nutrition is our food supplements. So we pair with Prestige Labs because I feel they're the best, they have integrity, and they get great results. These are actually the supplements that I take as well. Here's the awesome part. By clicking the link below, you can save 40% off the retail price. So you need that link to actually save 40%. If you just go to the normal site without my link, you're paying full price, okay? So these are the supplements my clients use. If you are interested, definitely click the link below and it'll tell you all about them.